Bum, bum, ba-da-dum, bum, bum. Bring. All right, we get a Bendy on a Tuesday morning. Welcome to the Blue Review presented by LAX. There's lasers. I'm Marcus Grant with Greg Bergman and Parker Bell. And, now we know the Dodgers are going to be heading to Toronto for Game 1 of the World Series starting on Friday. The Blue Jays with a dramatic come-from-behind 4-3 win over the Seattle Mariners in Game 7 of the ALCS. To any of our Mariner fan friends that are out there maybe watching this morning, that was rough. Apologies. That was a tough way to go down, but fantastic season.
I feel bad. Yeah, fantastic season for them. But I feel bad for they went 2-0 in the series by winning 2 games in Toronto. Mm-hmm. Then they go up 3-2 after when it was 2-2, and then they were up 3-1 in the 7th and still couldn't pull it out. That's just that was your chance to get to the World Series for the very first time.
Yeah.
Oof.
Yeah.
Rough.
Yeah,
had to be Springer.
Had to be. So there's the upside to this, and there's a lot of stuff we can talk about today, but the upside, and I put in the text chat last night, a chance for the Dodgers to get some revenge on 2017. George Springer was part of that Astros team that cheated their way to a World Series, so maybe a little bit of get back. I mean, look, there's still some of those guys with the Dodgers that were there in 2017, so a chance maybe for a little bit of payback about that. So
I think it's just Kershaw.
Is it? Was Muncy not there?
2018.
2018.
Oh, okay.
But was anybody else maybe slided by the Astros?
Dave was there.
Yep.
Yeah, well, Dave Roberts was obviously there.
Yeah.
I really thought there were. I knew there weren't a ton of guys still left from 2017, but I thought maybe there were a couple more.
I'm pretty sure Muncy is 2018. Am I off on that?
No, you're correct. Kike Hernandez was there.
Was he? Okay,
yes.
Yeah. So Kike and Kirsch.
Kike and Kirsch were the only ones there, still here from that 2017 team.
That's crazy. That's crazy, by the way.
That is kind of wild. Yeah, I really thought there was at least 1 or 2 more, but no, I guess not. So, all right. Anyway,
they did cheat against the Red Sox earlier in that playoff too. So maybe Mookie has a little.
That's true.
Yeah,
Mookie might have a bone to pick with this whole thing too, in the deal for sure. Anyway, before we dive into everything that's going to be happening over the next few days, look, we still have several days to talk about all of this. Give a shout out to LAX, Los Angeles International Airport, transforming the travel experience. They're saving guests time. For more information, you can go to flylax.com/transforming LAX People Mover train, hopefully coming early next year. So that should be fun. All right. So this is the George Springer Revenge series. This is the Kendrick Lamar versus Drake series. This is about as long a plane trip, I think, that you can have almost in Major League Baseball. I would guess San Diego to Toronto might be a little longer, maybe Seattle to Miami, but a lot of things. But Greg, your first impressions of this Blue Jays team.
So first impressions of Vladimir Guerrero was terrifying.
Yes.
He's like Schwarber to me. Like every time he comes up, I'm going to be worried that he's going to hit a bomb but he's actually a little bit more a different type of terrifying because he gets on base. He gets singles, he hits doubles. Like he just gets on base, whereas Schwarber just hit massive, massive home runs. So I'm very afraid of Vladimir Guerrero, as one should be. But overall, I'm not that worried about the team in general. I mean, they can hit. Like they got some good players, but the pitching staff that they have is just not very good. They have like it's like they're like Kevin Gausman is a good starter. Max Scherzer obviously is a good starter. Even though, unless his arm just says, "Oh, I can't use my arm today."
You'd be saying that from personal experience now, would you?
No, I would never say that. Yes, from personal experience. But the bullpen is kind of trash. Louis Varland is their best reliever, and he's pitched more than some of our starters. So he's pitching a lot. But overall, I think it's going to be a tough matchup, especially since you start the first 2 on the road, and you got to keep up the trend of not losing on the road.
I mean, that's the thing, Parker. They obviously they won 2 at home against the Reds. That whole series was going to be at Dodger Stadium, but they go to Philadelphia, they win 2. They go to Milwaukee and win 2. There's no guarantee, but I think at this point, if you're the Dodgers, you feel fine on the road. You've been really good so far this postseason.
Yeah, and just based off track record, Dodgers did quite well, of course, this playoffs in the road, and I don't think any of those places are any less, I guess, rowdy, you could call it, than Toronto. I mean, you're fighting a whole country. that may be true, but
they're
honestly,
so nice about it. They're gonna give you a donut after
nice.
they get
Oh, Shohei, actually,
we'd like to win this one, eh?
Shohei.
That'd be nice if you'd let us get a couple of wins, eh?
But Greg,
just one would be great, eh?
One would be great, eh?
I think you make great points, Greg. I mean, when it comes to the bullpen, I think entering Game 7 they had like a 6 ERA and only 1 successful save. The Dodgers should be salivating at the fact that they can face
successful save. That's crazy.
Yeah, the fact that they can face this pitching staff is huge for the Dodgers. But I just don't want to understate how potent and scary this offense can be. I mean, there may even be a chance that Bo Bichette is back, which we can get into in a little bit. He hasn't played since September 6th, I think it is. So there's going to be the idea of rust. But still, you don't want to let somebody like that get hot when you already have a guy like Vladdy who's just doing his thing and George Springer doing his thing. But, I mean, they have some like Tommy Edman type guys who are just shining in this postseason. Ernie Clement's been popping off. So
Addison Barger,
another one. So there's guys who do put some fear into my eyes when it comes to like top to bottom, but just let's not forget what the Dodgers just did this last series. Greatest pitching performance I think I've ever seen from a 1-2-3.
Well, and
four,
yeah, exactly. You talk about some of the guys in the lineup. I mean, part of what we like about the Dodgers that you like to see is that you have a guy in Shohei that when he is right, and obviously he got right on Friday, is a fire starter, right? A guy at the top of the lineup who can just get things going on one pitch. George Springer is that guy on the other side. I mean, he wakes up, he falls out of bed looking to hit the ball over the fence. So that is a thing that I sort of be aware of, right? If you are Blake Snell, who likely is going to get the game 1 start, be aware of the potential George Springer ambush in the bottom of the first inning, because he's out there hunting for something that he can drive. So, you're right with him, with Guerrero. I saw in the chat somebody said their guys can't even spell Lucas right, which I will be honest with you. When I first thought, I thought his name was Nathan Lukes. So, so yeah, there are some guys that can do some things offensively. That is how this team got there. I know there was kind of this perception that they were originally, I think there was this thought that they were maybe the American League Brewers, just a team that sort of worked counts, got on base, sort of went station to station. But that's not really the case. I mean, they got 3 guys in their lineup that hit 20 home runs this year. 4 guys, I should say, in the lineup that hit 20 home runs this year. So they can swing it a little bit. So that's one thing. But Greg, as you mentioned,
back a lot.
the pitching difference, I think, is what could, one of the things, I guess, that works in favor of the Dodgers. I mean, I look. Go ahead. I'll just say, I just think the Dodgers are better. I think their lineup's better. I think their pitching staff is better. I think that's sort of it. But this is a Blue Jays team that could sneakily, take a couple games.
Yeah, I mean, it's still baseball, and things are going to happen, and they do have a powerful lineup. So yeah, very well they could, if they get to one of the starters, or we have to see bullpen early because they knock them out in the 5th or something like that. That could all still happen. The bullpen still, I mean, they're really rested, but they gave up a ton of runs in that Red series, and they gave up a pretty decent amount in the Phillies series. The difference is like the pitching staff unless they make different changes to it, they only have 3 lefties. And 2 of them are relievers, not really doing a ton. They've also given up 18 home runs this postseason alone, just the entire pitching staff. That's going to be something that is tough. So it's the Mason Flaherty is a lefty. Brendan Little's a lefty. He's a reliever, and so is Eric Lauer. He's only been coming out of the pen. So they're all relievers that are the lefties. So we're going to see a heavy, heavy, heavy dose of right-handed pitching, which bodes well for this team. Forget people like Mookie and Freddie and Muncy, who are your big power bats, right?
Yeah, and I think that means you'll probably see Muncy in the lineup every day. It means you'll probably see Freddie Freeman batting third every day, as long as there's not any left-handed starters. Which also means if you are Toronto, which we haven't gotten to the Teoscar fact. I mean, look, I know we got a lot of things to talk about over the next few days.
We have a lot to do it too.
A lot of days to do it. But the Teoscar factor, right? That means that pushes him down the lineup a little bit, which I think that's even scarier to me, right? That if you are a starting pitcher, if you're a pitcher at all, right? And somehow, let's say you run the Shohei, Mookie, Freddie gauntlet, you still got to deal with Will Smith. You still got to deal with Max Muncy, and then you probably have Teo hitting sixth. I mean,
which is great.
It's great. It's great for the Dodgers, not so great for an opposing pitcher. But I don't know, Parker. I mean, for Teo, this is a little bit of a homecoming, maybe a chance to show the Blue Jays kind of what they missed out on again, if they haven't seen it already.
Yeah, there's a good amount of storylines here, I guess. You could look at the whole Shohei flight log Toronto situation, which he's going to LA all along. But Toronto, I would understand why you might be like, darn it.
I forgot about that.
They're not going to get too mad. They're just going to go, darn it.
Have a donut.
You got Vladdy, who I think is obviously on that superstar level of the Mookies of the world. To be honest, I think he does have that status, and so there's a lot of storylines that make this a very interesting and good for baseball series. But it is one of those things. The chat does point out, of course, we do still have bullpen issues here with the Dodgers, but guys, I mean, I know, again, we have a lot of days to talk about this, but I think the bullpen looked pretty good this series specifically. I don't want to say like great. There were still moments, but they looked pretty serviceable in terms of what the offense already gave them, leads.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, look, they came in and in games 3 and 4 against the Brewers, they got the job done. And it was a little bit of everybody, right? We saw Vesia come in and get outs. We saw Blake Trinan come in and get outs. We know what Sasaki can do in the back end of the bullpen. So, I mean, Greg, I'm not ready to just declare that the bullpen is back and they're locked down, but at least those last 2 games, I think, gave everybody a level of confidence that, these guys can get the job done when called upon.
Yeah, I mean, it gives a little bit of confidence, and especially guys like Bonda and Vesia. I'm still terrified of Blake Trinan. But it's also, they gave up a ton of runs against the Reds, and they were giving up runs against the Phillies. The starters just stole the souls of the Brewers in those first 2 games by going 8 2/3 and 9. So you didn't really have to see too much in that situation, which made it a little bit easier to say, oh, hey, the bullpen looks better again. But look, I have high hopes for the bullpen. This Blue Jays team is closer to the Phillies, in my opinion, whereas they're not as good as the Phillies, but they're on that pace more than they are on the Brewers. So we'll see what this bullpen looks like. They really need to be nails. And I think looking at guys like Bonda and Vesia specifically.
See Peter Acevedo in the chat, channeling a little Shannon Sharp. George Springer, Jerry Springer, Vladimir Dinger, Dodgers in 5.
There's another. Well, I don't know if we want to channel Shannon Sharp anymore, but that's a whole other story for another day. Dong Kim also says which this is a little bit like Jeff Spiegel nerdy stuff, so I love it. Fangraph shows Blue Jays lowest whiff rates, but also middle pack in barrel rate. Blue Jay pitching relies heavily on fastball and splitters. Dodgers top 3 in hitting both fastball and splitters. So that's helpful. Thank you, Dong Kim.
That is helpful.
Yeah,
so
I think the next few days we could probably break down a little more about why their offense is so potent. But yeah, I mentioned earlier in this episode, that's their superpower, is they hit the breaking ball and they hit the soft stuff really, really well.
Yep.
And who throws a lot of soft stuff? Snell, Glasnow, and of course Yama as well. So we'll see. We'll break it down a little more, but I think that is a storyline that is going to be really fun to follow, because Vladdy, while he may not always hit it out the park, he'll just get on base, like you said, Greg.
Yeah, which that's what scares me the most is really that him just getting on and like little things where if they give up a walk and then he hits a double and then a run comes around to score, that's Vladimir Guerrero is going to be what he's hitting 442 in the post. He's got a 144 OPS like that. He's going insane. He has 6 home runs, 12 RBIs. He has 6 walks and only 3 strikeouts, and he got one last night. Otherwise, he would have been 2. Like in the last 2 games, I think he struck out 3 times, and those were the only 3 strikeouts he has. So he is very much on fire. I do think this pitching staff can hold him down a little bit, but he's the guy to be really. But okay, so this is very much what it was like with Aaron Judge, right? Aaron Judge was on fire last year coming into the World Series, and he swung and missed at everything when it got to until he got hot in Game 4.
Yeah, I mean, he got hot in Game 4, but then his glove disappeared in Game 5, and we thank him very much for that. So, I mean,
quickly
I think
on Vladdy, Marcus, I'm sorry. Yeah. When I see things like this, and I'm about to show something that. When I talk about like, oh, what scares me is like sometimes the building heroes type storylines. When I see this, I get a little scared. This is young baby Vladdy throwing catch with I think he's 3 years old with the Montreal Expos team. And now you got this he went out before Game 7 and said, am I built for this? No, I'm born for this. And then you got that entire storyline and that type of stuff. It's pretty cool. It's emotional to see. And when you got like an emotional attachment to a series and when you just have an emotional attachment to the game, like many of the Dodgers do, of course, as well, it just makes for better baseball. So this is actually going to be more exciting than I think most people think.
Well, I mean, look, I understand absolutely. I would hope that we could remind him that his uncle played for the Dodgers once upon a time. So it's not that we have no ill will toward the Guerrero family and Vladimir in particular. We shout out to Uncle Wilton for all of his years of service with the Dodgers. And look.
They tried to get Vladdy.
They tried to get Vlad, right? We just had an owner who his pockets were a little bit short, and the commissioner of baseball had to step in and say, "No, you can't sign this contract because we don't think you can cover it." And therefore, Vlad ended up in Anaheim for a number of years. So there's that part. So we'll see. But anyway, you were talking about Vlad too. One of the things I was going to say is I think if you're the Dodgers, one of the goals, obviously, you want to try to keep him off base, but as long as you can sort of keep him. If he's coming to the plate, it's with nobody on, right? Like you don't want him coming to the plate with guys on base where he can do extra damage. If he's going to get an extra base hit, it's just for him, right? If he is going to hit a home run, it's a solo home run. It's not a 2 or 3 run shot. It's not a grand slam because he's had some big hits and some really big moments so far in this postseason. So I think that is sort of the job. And look, I mean, Greg, this is going to be up to Mark Pryor. It's up to the pitchers. I mean, obviously they have plenty of time to sort of study, and get ready for this. I would think even in the last couple of days, they were probably studying both sides, right? Going back over game tape from those series. Now they know they can just focus on the Blue Jays. And so I would think, hey, look, if we know all about the whiff rates and the barrel rates, I'm pretty sure, Greg, that Mark Pryor and the rest of that staff are very aware of all those things as well.
I think that Andrew Friedman knew every single team's tendencies up and down before the postseason started. Okay, these are the teams that are in the postseason. I'm going to learn every single player, even guys all the way at the bottom of the bench. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa and Joey Loperfido and Nathan Lucas and Davis Schneider and Miles Straw. He knows everything about all these dudes.
Schneider's got a nice stash. Just want to point that out.
Yeah, I just know them. Tyler Heineman. These are guys that I know just because I'm reading their names right now. So,
I mean, some of these names. I remember Kiner-Falefa. He was a Met, I think, for a while.
He was a Yankee for a little bit too.
Yeah, I mean, Loperfido. Where was he? Houston. That's where. Okay, well. Anyway.
I know that I've heard the name before.
Right.
That's about it. Davis Schneider. You said nice sash. That's the only thing I've heard of. Miles Straw.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I also I'm going to go out on a limb and I'm going to say John Schneider is not going to pull a Pat Murphy, right? He's not going to hit us with nobody knows because we all know Vlad Guerrero. Certainly, we're all familiar with Max Scherzer.
Can't do it.
I don't think John Schneider is going to play that card.
No, and George Springer is on that team, and like you said, Bo Bichette's coming back, and Alejandro Kirk was one of the better catchers in baseball this year. Like there's Dalton Varsho was in the NL West for a long time with the Diamondbacks. So we know all of these guys. We know most of these guys, so that he can't pull that. Don't give me that underdog nonsense, because obviously they had a better record too, since they are the ones that have home field advantage.
I mean, the Brewers had a better record too, and you see what that.
Well, I'm not worried about that. It's more so like if John Schneider can't do that. Don't pull the Pat Murphy. That is such a little baby move. Don't do that. Oh, you've never heard of any of our guys. Blake Snell makes more than our entire pitching staff.
Oh, it was so bad. Stick to your pocket pancakes, man. But Laura asks, why was Bichette down? So it was a knee sprain in September. That's why he's been out since then. But again, we'll have to get to it in a couple of days, because the reports that have just been out are that it's progressing well. So it's not necessarily a guarantee as of yet, but it's looking likely that he'll be back.
Yeah.
Has Drake come out and who he's going to root for, which I'm assuming would be the Blue Jays?
Yeah, for anybody
because he's got a curse on him.
He does have a curse where if he basically to sort of quote him, by the time he picks one of your teams, it's too late. Like when he chooses a side,
he's already trolled LA.
Has he?
So he's posted on IG, and I know Anthony knows probably a little more about me, but he did once rent out Dodger Stadium in 2021.
And he had a date there, right? Like he took a mom of a player on
Amari Bailey.
Amari Bailey's mom. That's right.
So he posted that he repurposed it with the Blue Jays song that I forgot who the artist is, but it's like just a Go Blue Jays song.
Does Kendrick come out with another diss track just to really stomp him into the grave?
No,
right, Marcus?
I don't know if he does that, but
performance.
We might. Do we just get a Not Like Us live performance before Game 3?
Yeah, Game 3 he has to be the song, the artist that comes out first, right? Like the Ice Cube type situation.
Yeah, because honestly, I mean, a lot of the reason the Dodgers won was because the Dodgers were just a better team than the Yankees last year. But when you have the Ice Cube performance and you put it up next to the Fat Joe performance, there was no way the Dodgers were going to lose that series.
Can I put one? I don't know. I feel bad maybe putting this out in the universe, but it's already out there. He has said it personally on this station, actually. Greg, Dave Roberts has said he's actually a Drake guy.
Has he? Yeah.
I'll go back and pull the clip so that we have it. But he did say it. I think it was on Mason Ireland.
Yeah, I think he did do that. But also, like, look, I think we would not hold that against Dave. And
oh no, hey.
I just want Kendrick to go nuts.
Yeah, and I think this week he puts that aside anyway, right? There are bigger issues at hand than the Certified Lover Boy and whatever music he's making or not making at this point. Here, people see in the chat the Dodgers roster is too old for Drake. That's probably true. Kendrick has been really silent on the Dodgers this season. Yeah, I know, but he's on the vision board. Like he shows up on the board telling Dodger fans to make some noise. So that counts for something to me. I don't know. Anyway, it's only Tuesday. So we have 3 more days to talk before there's any actual baseball being played. Obviously, at some point, we'll dive into postseason rosters. We'll get into matchups. Maybe we'll get Jeff Spiegel from Parts Unknown to email us some nerd stats that we can talk about.
Oh, we should do that. Email nerd stats.
Get him to send us some nerd stats that we can dive into, and we can try to make sense of them as much as possible. We got plenty to talk about. Of course, we'll always try to interact with you folks in the chat because we are glad that you are here. We are glad that you have been here at 6:30 in the morning for the past 6 weeks, or however long it's been since we've been doing this now. So we're certainly grateful for that. But that will do it for this edition.
And if you're from Seattle, sorry.
Oh, we got people from Seattle?
You never know. Everybody watches, as they say.
Everybody watches. Everybody watches. So
Everyone
anyway,
does.
thanks for watching this edition of the Blue Review presented by LAX. Stick around. The Sedano and Cap morning extravaganza coming up here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to LAX as always. For Parker Bell, for Greg Bergman, I am Marcus Grant. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning, 6:30 to 6:55 on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. See you, everybody.
See ya.
See ya.